These manipulated fluctuations are all based on the exertions of a central banking cartel whose goal it is to hide the truth and perpetuate the paper dollar fraud for as long as possible. The game has changed, however, with the global economic shift to the east, and that Western banker cartel influence will soon end. And I like what you wrote here. I just really want to share this. I think it's important. You write, if you buy silver one day and the next it drops 20%, don't let this shake you, because that 20% loss is measured off of the current illusion of wealth, the U.S. dollar, which again, with all other currencies and assets that are denominated in dollars, is going to crash. I love that passage because it reminds us, if you have physical silver and gold in a safe, in your possession, somewhere hidden, buried in the backyard, wherever you want to put it, it's tangible, it's real, and it is outside of this paper Ponzi system. That's what people need to understand. I know they love to punish us in the paper market with these games. I know that they can sell, a year's worth of silver production into the market in a day, in half a day, in 20 minutes. We've seen them do it. It's criminal. Until this system ends, though, those are the pains we must suffer, right, Michael? But at the end of the day, if you hold physical, no matter what you paid for it, it's tangible wealth that they cannot steal from you.
Exactly. We need to become our own central bankers. We need to be, responsible for ourselves, but not only holding physical metals, but also having storable food, storable water, some sort of means to generate electricity. Learn how to, if you don't already know how to cultivate a garden. I mean, these are things that are going to be what's valued and valuable in the coming change. We're looking at an all new paradigm shift. It's going to be a game changer, and it's going to be very difficult and painful for those that choose to stay asleep. But for those that are prepared and they see what's coming, get prepared. It's happening. It's happening right now. The collapse is happening. It started in 2008, and it's just intensifying today. So, this is the time to do it.
It is indeed, and I wanted to just share this with folks too. People listening already know this, but it bears repeating. I picked up on something in the book, and my takeaway essentially was rarity equals built-in value. And I love that. As you talk about the actual precious qualities and the rarity of physical silver, you write on page 130 in Chapter 8, quote, "There is no replacement for silver in its present role as an industrial precious metal. Silver is simply critical to the world of electrical and electronic technologies, and manufacturers and investors will pay whatever they must to own it." That is so critical, because people talk about the return of silver as money. I know that Hugo Salinas Price is trying to make that happen in Mexico for the Mexican people. Other forms of physical currency, of physical precious metal currency coming back into play. Silver can and probably will in the future again be a monetary metal. But even if it's not, we posted an article at SGT Report about why to buy silver, even if it's never going to be a monetary metal again. It's irreplaceable. It's irreplaceable, Michael, to the way of life that we have now in this world. If you want to have an iPhone, if you want to have an LCD TV, if you want to have solar panels, if you want to live in this modern world, you need silver, and there's not very much of it left above ground.
Exactly. You think about it. If the world was void of gold tomorrow, we'd still probably be able to walk as a society. If the planet was void of silver tomorrow, it's lights out. So silver, in my view, is a much more valuable metal than gold because we are dependent. Completely, our society and way of life is completely dependent upon silver. Gold, to a much lesser extent. Gold is a monetary metal. It has, those perfect qualities that it never rusts or degrades. It's divisible. It's transportable. On and on. However, silver is money also, and it's been historically money right alongside of gold for eons. However, silver is used in over 10,000 industrial applications as you were mentioning before, solar panels to, pesticides to antibiotics to, batteries, on and on and on. The phone we're speaking on right now, every computer on the planet. So our society needs silver, and we're running out of it. The price right now doesn't reflect the supply-demand ratio. It's a manipulated price. The true price of silver, according to the supply and the demand and the level that our society needs silver right now, who knows what that price is.
You could even make the argument, Michael, and I know you know this, that based on current mining statistics across the planet, they're only pulling 9 ounces of silver out of the ground for every 1 ounce of gold. So right there, you can make an extrapolation that silver's easily worth, a ninth of the price of gold, which would be somewhere around, $160 an ounce or something. So you write in your book on page 175, the price of silver is low right now. It is about to go up at a rate that can and will only happen once in history. And that's a very important passage as well. People need to imagine what that means. Is $500 silver imminent, as is noted on the back of your book?
Well, I think that $500 silver could possibly portend $1 million silver. Because with silver at $500 an ounce, who knows what society looks like? Who knows what the U.S. dollar looks like? Meaning, if we have $500 silver, does that mean it's the end of the dollar? And we are looking at a hyperinflationary scenario to where silver is, who knows? I mean, where toilet paper is actually more valuable than
a dollar.
Dollars.
Sure, right.
Right. So, $500 silver could portend $1 billion per ounce silver. Who knows? That means the end of the dollar, which I firmly believe is imminent. Looking through history, the average lifespan of a fiat currency is roughly 37 years. A paper currency backed by nothing. We're going on roughly 40 years with the U.S. dollar. So its time is due. And as we know, with all these bilateral trade agreements popping up everywhere, every other day it seems like, China and Japan, China, Russia, India, Iran, on and on, trading outside of the U.S. dollar. It's just a matter of time, not if the U.S. dollar will no longer be the world reserve currency. And when the U.S. dollar is no longer the world reserve currency, what kind of cascading effect does that have for America and the dollar and the price of silver and gold in comparison to the dollar? Because think of it, we have a world that is awash in paper fiat currencies that are backed by nothing other than debt that is mathematically impossible to pay off. So what's going to happen is we're going to have major defaults. We're going to have smart money and institutional funds coming into gold and silver as a flight to safety. And again, going back to the contents of Hoover Dam, going through a garden hose, we're going to see way too much money chasing a finite market, and the price is going to explode. I think $500 an ounce for silver is being conservative. You look at this. You've got palladium at $600 an ounce or thereabouts. Well, silver is a much, much, much more valuable and needed commodity palladium. So how can you justify $600 an ounce palladium and $30 an ounce silver? You really can't. So it's just, it's a matter of time. I know we're getting to the end of this call, but back the truck up now. Get prepared. Get your gardening skills ready, and get a copy of the Silver Bomb. Pass it on to your neighbor, to your father, your friend. I almost guarantee if they read the first 2 pages of that book, they will keep reading. If they don't, it's just because they're too darn scared of the truth.
Yeah. Well, and let me circle back just real briefly. I agree with you about the book, and I want you to tell people where they can get the book. Let's remind people again. But circling back to that palladium thought, people will say, well, palladium is far, far rarer than silver. Okay, that may be true, but the fact of the matter is that silver is used in almost every conceivable application of modern technological life, and palladium is used in what? Catalytic converters. I mean, the reality is that the only reason silver is at below $30 an ounce now in physical form is because of the bankster manipulation and their absolute war against monetary metals in the effort to support this crumbling dollar paradigm. And Michael, you're absolutely right. We appreciate you writing this book because it's the siren call that everybody needs to hear. If anybody wants one last chance to get their act together and try to plan for the future so that they can have some tangible wealth when this system finally melts down, this is the way to go, in my opinion. Physical silver in physical form in your possession. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Michael, tell people, I know that they can get the book over at my friend Brother John's website. I'm happy to drive some traffic over there to purchase the book. Where else can they get it? And also, my thanks to Christopher Whitestone, your co-author on this thing, because you guys did a great job. Where can they get the book, and tell us about your website?
Thesilverbomb.com is a good place to start. Also, Amazon.com. It's also available on Kindle.
Okay, great. And any final last words for this audience? You've got a lot of passionate people who already know this story, but for those who are listening to whom this information is new, what do you say to those people to shake them awake? And my credit to them if they're listening, because that's the first step.
My advice to them is basically times are changing. The elephant in the room is the Federal Reserve. If you can get your mind around that the most powerful agency in the world is a private entity that is has really no oversight, how can this private agency be in charge of the global reserve currency value and the interest rates with their books completely private? So the Ponzi scheme starts at the very top of the pyramid, which most people don't even want to look at. But if they just look at that one cornerstone at the very top, you'll notice that everything is built down below that. So everything in our financial system is built upon a lie, upon a Ponzi scheme. So that's a good place to start your investigation. We talk about it in the Silver Bomb, but if you type it in Google or do your own research, you're gonna find out that this whole financial system is built upon a lie, upon a Ponzi scheme to make the top elite bankers rich and powerful.
That's right. We know how Ponzi schemes usually end with a Bernie Madoff arrest and a lot of lost investor money. Hey, Michael McDonald, the author of The Silver Bomb, Beyond the Return of Metal as Money, thank you so much for your time. You're really a bright and spirited guy, and I sure appreciate the book and appreciate your time.
Well, thank you, Sean. I seriously appreciate this opportunity to communicate with you and your audience, and I hope that we get to do it again.
Yeah, it's my great pleasure. So thanks again for your time, and let's talk again in the future for sure.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and visit sgtreport.com for all the latest. Good night.